Nerd alert. Oh, stay tuned. Oh, we're back. Yeah, I haven't left yet. I'm still here.
I haven't said that yet.
Meow. We're gonna do an exploratory clean out. I'm gonna walk us through all the step-by-step process. This is a service we use for new customers. So if this is the first time we've ever met your pond, we sell you an exploratory clean out. What this process does is basically it's for us to get to know you as the customer, how you enjoy it, how you interact with your system. Also, we get to see your pond. We get to learn all about it. It's a pretty in-depth, thorough inspection, and it's a first date. That's what we're here doing today. We have a customer here. They've had this pond since 2003, and the last few years they've been struggling with some water loss. They've had a couple different contractors come in, haven't had good experiences or haven't had luck fixing the problem. So we're gonna see what we can do and how we can address the situation. See behind me, we got most of our equipment all moved back in here. Clay's grabbing the last little bit. Now we've got the pump hooked up and we are going to go ahead and fire it up. So as soon as he drops those buckets, we will turn that on. One of the first things that we look for when I walk into a backyard, whether it be on maintenance, an exploratory clean out, whatever it is always water level. You know, when I come in there, I want to know, do I need to be adding water right away or what's going on? When you walk back in and you see this pond, it looks like it's pretty low. It looks like it's holding water at the appropriate level based on how it was built. So here we've got this nice patio, and you know, you can see the water line on the rocks, and it looks like we're down quite a ways. What makes this system unique and pretty cool is that this is the main pond portion, and then we have like a vanishing edge, negative edge, infinity edge, lots of different names for it. We're gonna call it one of those three things. If we come over here and take a peek, you can see our liner is actually right here, and then it has this little bit of a dam. We're gonna investigate a little bit. We're down about an inch or two from there. I guess we might be able to hold a little bit more water. Just kind of depends on how this ramp up over there works. Then there's that basin down there where the pump housing goes. You get a couple more waterfalls. So what we're gonna do here, we got our transit level set up. This is, we're gonna shoot elevation heights on here. As soon as Clay's done doing whatever he's doing. Clay, what are you doing? What a silly goose. Why don't you just get in the pond, you silly goose? We're gonna shoot this waterfall stone that cord is on. It holds water level in the pond. So we're gonna get that number, and then we're gonna shoot down here where our water level is currently at. See if we're holding an appropriate amount. It's the first time Clay's done this in a hot minute, so we'll see if he remembers. 2-2. All right, give it a little beepy bop over here on the water. 2, 4.5. So that means the water level is about 2.5 inches below that weir stone. All right, Perry, why don't you shoot water line? I'm going with 2. There we go. Yeah, that's, wait, I'm glad we got that on video. Yep, 2, just like I said. Wow, I'm good. Water level when it's full is actually 2 inches higher than what it is on that stone, which is pretty normal. We got there, it's kind of narrow, so it backs it up a little bit. And then we're 2 inches down from that dam. So we're gonna take a peek at some liner levels. It's probably pretty accurate and pretty close as far as where that holds steady, but we're just gonna double check. Okay guys, so I'm getting done wrapping up my inspection on water level. We shot everything, we had that difference. Everything looks good. So what I think it is and why water level drops down to this level that's 2 inches below than that is all of this is built up. You can see in here that, you know, we got all these wrinkles in the liner, and water is always going to take the path of least resistance. So what's happening is water's just kind of going here in these wrinkles and going straight out underneath these stones. Once the pumps are on and we're pumping water, it will rise up and go over. So I think that's what's going on here. We'll confirm it once that gets fixed, and then we plug it in. We'll be able to see water sneaking out under our shoulders here and under the waterfall first. If that happens, then I know my hypothesis over here is sound. So here we are, we're getting ready to turn the pump on. We got it hooked up down here in the basin. We just run all the gross water because we want to know if there's any problems before we get too crazy in there. That's how we checked water level. Now we're gonna hook this up. Go ahead, Perry. Clay. Yep. Clay, that might be an issue, bud. You unplugged that way too fast. I was trying to be dramatic. Back to that geyser that we found. That was an exploded plumbing line. So you can see, wow, big crack. There's a bunch of it down below here. I don't know if you've ever played with a grenade, but if you rolled a grenade down here, it probably looked very similar to this. What causes a plumbing line fracture like this is this plumbing line not draining completely. Everyone builds ponds differently, and that's okay. We just see a lot of them, so we get to figure out how everyone's doing them. So what we like to do when we install a plumbing line, we want it to be able to gravity drain. So rather than have to get a big compressor and blow it out, when we undo the pump, we want all that water to backflow down the plumbing line and out into the skimmer, basin, whatever your system has. Here, you know, we just kind of assumed that there was either an inline check valve because we knew it wasn't on the pump, or something was damming it up or something like that. So we kind of found a unique situation on this one. No check valve at all, so this plumbing line should have drained and this problem could have been avoided. This is where our pump hook's up at. Before the plumbing line exploded, you can see the glue remnants. That 90-degree fitting was on there, and then we attached the pump to the plumbing line down there. So what happened was, because this plumbing line is at water level, when you put that 90 on, it goes down about 2.5 inches into that water level. So when you disconnect that pump, if this basin isn't full, water drains down the plumbing line and in here, and then once water hits the bottom of that check valve or our plumbing assembly there, now everything equals out and we're no longer draining water, and so we have water that sits up here in our plumbing line to wherever that equilibrium meets. That's what caused here kind of a unique problem, I guess. So what we'll do to fix this, we're gonna have to actually put like a union or some sort of other fitting so that when we redo this plumbing down here in the basin, we don't have this problem every year. I'm sure if you look back, there was a union over here on this hard pipe. Union unscrews. That could have potentially been what that was for, but it's kind of in a weird spot, so I don't think that's actually what it was. We're gonna fix it, make it right, and then we're gonna keep on with our process. This is all what we do on these exploratory services. You know, we've been here for an hour, almost 2 now, and we haven't even got to turn it on or start the clean out because we need water running to do our inspection. This is why we're here, be able to problem solve these, and then, you know, give you a price to be able to fix this all while we're here and whatnot. One of the things we give our customers on this exploratory, our first date, remember, is you get a sheet, a spec sheet, however you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. It's very similar to, we always compare it when you take your car in to get your oil changed. You get all the tire pressure, blah, blah, blah. But like I mentioned, we're on our first date. We've never been here before, so we keep a copy. We give the homeowner a copy of this sheet. We're gonna list off your gallons, your pump, your flow rate, your plumbing line, all types of stuff, filtration, lights, all of that stuff. So now, you know, ideally, you're supposed to have such a good time hanging out with us, cleaning your pond, that you never wanna go anywhere else. Well now, since you're not going anywhere else, all you have to do is call or text us and say, hey, our pump went out, can you come get it? Well, now you don't even have to get your hands wet in that process. We have this all saved in your file in our database, and you have it. So if you want to save it, you can say, this is the pump I have, or if we want to change style pump, we want to maybe switch to a smart pump or something like that. We have all the spec'd out information that we need to be able to convert you into whatever is going to be most efficient for your feature. So I'm working on that right now. I'll show you what this looks like. Normally it's a carbon copy. You can see we got client information up above my hand here, but then we've got all your specs out on here. I don't know if you noticed on there, there's one section under basically every category that says recommended features. So what we do for that is, you know, we treat your pond like it's our own, as if we lived here. The only difference is, you know, we're the professionals, so we know all the fun toys, all that kind of stuff, how to make it so you guys are going to get the most enjoyment out of your feature. because that's why you put it in, to enjoy it. You don't want to have to work on it. When we hit you with those recommended features, that's just like, hey, this is an option, this is what I would do if you wanted to funk it up, change it, do anything like that. That's kind of our approach to recommended features. It's not really used to be a sales tool or anything like that. It's just there to provide you with the options, or in this case, you know, if you're having issues with your feature, this is how we go about fixing them. Now that our inspection process is over, we're going to start the clean out. I'll kind of walk you through. We've exposed the liner areas where we want to do some work. So as Clay is doing that portion of the actual clean out and everything, then I will get going on adjusting liner, confirming, you know, and then also getting in, you know, there's a unique top up here. So we're going to kind of dig deeper into that, see how all of that works, see how the basin works, all of that stuff. Here's that spot that Clay found earlier. And then the nice part about it was, so Clay found it, I went and knocked on the door of the homeowner, confirmed everything was running properly the way they do it, and he saw Clay over here and said, yep, that's one of the spots I'm always messing with. So then he pointed out a couple other spots over in here. We found some more close spots. So we're gonna get all that taken care of as we're going through and doing this clean out. So now that this part's easy, we're just cleaning it, making it looking fresh, hiding liner when we're done. You know, we're gonna test the light system in there, maybe add a couple more. That was a conversation that we've had. And then once we get it naked, the way I like to call it, once I get to see all the rock work, everything like that, we will rebuild any rocks that have shifted or settled, anything there. You can see down in here, when we drop that chute, we exposed a bunch of liner, so we'll get all that hidden up and everything. We'll get all of it flushed out, all the muck in there. That tub that you keep seeing in the background, we'll actually store the fish in there. We're filling it up now. We'll also use that water to kind of pump around and flush, so we're constantly just moving the water. Whether it be an exploratory or standard clean out, we try to reuse as much water as possible, so we're not just constantly running garden hose. You know, obviously it saves water, we're big into that, but also with our pumps and these orange hoses, we get a little more pressure, higher volume of water, so we can get a more thorough flush. We're live. We're live action.
Are we live? All right. Well, now that we're finishing up the cleanup here, we're gonna treat the water. This here is the liquid barley. This is gonna clear up the water, make it nice water clarity. I'm treating it for about 2,000 gallons, which is a little over what this system is, but you can never overdose with this stuff. Here's the cold water beneficial bacteria. This is just all around good stuff. It'll help get the system started. Nice balance at the beginning of the season. Once again, another 2,000 gallons. Here's the sludge and filter cleaner. This just, as it says, it gets rid of all the nasty sludge and stuff that's in the system and the plumbing, all that. Another 2,000. Last but not least, one of the most important things out of all of them is the detox. And this is just because the majority of the water we're putting back in here is going to be hose water. So this just gets rid of all the harmful chemicals for the fish, so they can have a nice environment. I'm going to put about 2,500 gallons worth in here. Just like that, it's all treated and ready to go.
So like Clay said, we add those chemicals for every single clean out we do. Obviously, it's based on how big your pond is and whatnot. Really, it's just we want to get all of those beneficial bacterias, all the different strands of them and everything in there, so everything can start off as balanced as possible, kind of jump start it, because we did stir a lot up. You know, we pumped some of that good stuff out, so this is our way of replacing that. Because we're putting so much tap water in, we are going to get all the heavy metals and that kind of stuff out, and then we use a detox and not a dechlorinator. So the biggest difference between those two products is our detox has stuff in there to also help break down the ammonias and everything else that can also be a problem for your fish. We use that pretty religiously. We go pretty heavy on it because it's not going to hurt anything. I'd much rather take good care of your fish like that. It's got this special enzyme or something in it to kind of help with the slime coat, helps with the stress. Obviously, you know, you saw us moving fish in and out with that koi sock. We call it like an alien abduction. part of the reason why we call them a spring clean out is because the water's colder. They're easier to catch. They're not as awake yet. You know, pond temps, water temps are cool, and it's much easier on your fish to get this taken care of this time of year. So we're wrapping things up with the clean out portion of everything. We got the pond all flush, picked up. We did a pretty slow flush with this with the garden hose, just kind of based off the amount of sludge we found. So with that, the next process is Clay's gonna finish up cleaning up the basin. We're gonna get that really well as far as cleaned out wise. We're gonna really flush that to make sure the pump is getting as much water as fast as possible the whole time. I'm gonna start putting the stream back together and correcting those liner spots we found during the inspection. You know, we moved a lot of boulders around, so we're gonna do a little bit rebuilding. I did a little bit of rebuilding in the pond. Wrapping up the exploratory, we were filling. We talked earlier about checking lights and everything. So we're actually gonna upgrade their pond lighting system. They had kind of a older LED bulb style. We're gonna upgrade them to the Aquascape color changing lights. So they're gonna have that control via the app and everything. And then it comes with that 5-year warranty on it as well. So we'll get all that in here, all part of that exploratory. Honestly, this is a great time to install lights because the pond is empty. So we can get down in there deeper and everything else. We can do lights any time of year, but obviously makes sense when it's empty. Boom, into this big stuff here. We've got the Aquascape LED color changing lights. This is all controlled via an app under the assumption that your Wi-Fi is strong enough. So we're gonna test all of that. We'll get it up, that hub right there, hooked up, tied in. So you can do a lot of crazy stuff with this via the app. You can set your run times, you can change it. You know, like my favorite example is my personal pond. Every Sunday from about September to January, green and yellow, go pack go on noon on Sunday, changes, and then after that it'll change to whatever other setting my wife had it set at. But so you can do fun things like that. It will strobe through different lights. You can also pick individual colors, but you can always just go back to that standard white light. These are pretty much the only lights that we will install. So even if the color changing side of it's not appealing, you still have that white light function to go back onto. And then you still get the versatility of the app and being able to control it from wherever, however you want, on, off, time of day, certain times, specific times for your lifestyle, however you want to do it. That's all available to you on the app.
Now that we've got the feature topped off and up and running, all that's left for us to do is net out all this top debris that got stirred up, hide some lining, reacclimate some fishies. Say hi, fishies. Hi, fishies. And pick up our mess and get out of here. Here's one final shot of what it looks like. Got the brand new Aquascape color changing lights in. 1, 2, kind of see it, 3, and 1 all the way up there.
I hope you're having a wonderful day. I lost Barry.